Okay, this is a very interesting question. A deputy wants to know, what are your political aspirations outside of the Hernando County Sheriff's Office? Do you plan on using your experience as sheriff as a stepping stone, or do you just want to strengthen your roots around here in Hernando County? Do you plan on doing what's right by the deputies? Will you cut out the non-essential, behind the scenes favoritism? The reason why we ask this is because these cops, they just want to be good cops and they want to be rewarding for simply doing a good job. They want a sheriff who just wants to be sheriff and nothing else. What are your feelings about that?
First of all, what are my political ambitions? Right now, I have no political ambitions. The way I'm looking at this whole running for office, this is a very long job interview. And hopefully the citizens select me for this job. It is my goal to restore the camaraderie, the morale, and the leadership to the Hernando County Sheriff's Office, to put it on the right course and to serve as long as the citizens and the officers will have me. What's unique about this, and hopefully this will answer that question, you will not ever see me running for anything other than sheriff. It's what I do. I don't know anything about being a state senator, anything about being a state rep. It's not my wheelhouse, not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in fighting crime and leading cops, which is what I've done my whole life, which is what I teach now at the university level, because I'm passionate about that. I'm doing this not for me, not for me at all. I'm doing this for the men and women of the Sheriff's Office. And people would say, well, you're not doing it for Hernando County? Yeah, I am, but you have to have your priorities in order. I got to do it for the men and women of the Sheriff's Office first, because they've got to be happy. They've got to feel supported. They've got to feel like I've got their back. They've got to feel like they have strong leadership, because when they do, then they're going to be pumped up and excited to come to work. They're going to be pumped up and excited about their job, and then they're going to go out and fight crime and serve the citizens at 100% full force. We don't want deputies out there that their morale is hurt, that they're afraid to make a decision, that they're wondering, is this political axe going to fall on me next? That is so bad. It's so wrong. All I care about are cops looking forward to coming to work, serving and protecting society, and putting a whole lot of bad people in jail and making this a better place for all of us to live. That's the reason I'm doing this. It's not about titles. Titles don't really thrill me. I mean, I've captain, executive director, college professor. I'm not somebody who says, wow, I need to add sheriff to my list of titles. That's not what it's about. What it's about is the leadership part. I know that I can lead this agency where it needs to go and restore what it used to hold very near and dear, which unfortunately has been snatched away from it. We need to get back to that.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule campaigning as sheriff. I know you're very, very busy. We really appreciate that. I know the voters are going to appreciate having the opportunity to hear what you have to say. With that in mind, is there anything else that you would like to share with the voters about why you think that you're the right candidate for Sheriff of Hernando County?
Well, just in closing real quick, I've got the credentials, I've got the qualifications. But that being said, I have something that is much more important than that, and that is the love for this county. It's the only place I've ever lived. It's where my kids are being raised. It's where my parents are buried. It's where I was married. It just goes on. It's where I graduated from high school. I used to run the sand dunes at Spring Hill before there really was a Spring Hill. I just really have a love and a commitment for this community, and I think that is important in somebody seeking this position. I don't think that the right motivation for seeking this position is because, wow, this is finally somebody anointed me in a position that is worthy of where I should be. which is what I feel the appointed sheriff feels. He didn't know Hernando County. He couldn't care less about Hernando County 18, 19 months ago. Did he own a house here? Did he spend any time here? No, he didn't. And now, because of a political backroom conspiracy deal, he's plopped in here as our sheriff, and he walks around telling everybody how much he loves them. To me, that's disingenuous. Why do you love them? Have you spent time with these people? Do you know Hernando County? Do you know the nuances of Hernando County? Did you know anything about Lonnie Coburn when Lonnie Coburn gave the ultimate sacrifice? Did you even know who Lonnie Coburn was? I think that those things, along with being eminently qualified for this position, and just the love for cops. I love cops. They're awesome. I mean, they're just, it's the greatest profession, one of the most noble professions in the world, and they deserve, especially my hometown cops. I've never worked for Hernando County Sheriff's Office, but they're my cops. They're my county because I've been here my whole life, and I feel passionate about them feeling good about their agency and feeling good about what they do.
Well, one thing, and this will be the last thing that I'm going to ask you to wrap it up. Some people might say, well, why were you never a Hernando County law enforcement officer? Give us a brief explanation why you never worked in Hernando County if this is where you spent the last 50 years of your life.
I wanted to. What happened is I was too young. We had a sheriff at the time when I went to the police academy, Melvin Kelly, and he was good friends with my dad, actually. But I was certified at 18, and Melvin said that I needed to do 2 years in dispatch and 2 years in the jail before he even entertained me going out onto the street. Man, I'm 18 years old. I need a badge and a gun. I need to go out there and protect society. First of all, an 18-year-old does not need a badge and a gun. Looking back on it, no. He doesn't know anything about protecting society at that age. But I just blanketed everywhere with applications, and nobody would talk to me. So I ran into my old football coach and baseball coach at Golden Corral one day, Pat Fagan, who he was a school board member. Some people might remember him. But at the time, he was in charge of Parks and Recreation, the Fair Association, and Animal Control. So he asked me how my job hunt was going. I said, not so good. And he said, hey, come to work for me at Animal Control. I said, what is that? And he told me what the job involved. I said, sounds neat. So I went to work for Pat Fagan for about a year and a half. I was just shy of 20. And I was still 2.5, 3 years short of Sheriff Kelly's requirements for me. So I continued blanketing the place with applications, and somebody told me, hey, there's a young sheriff down in Pasco County, and he hires young people. And I went down there and filled out an application, and within 3 weeks, I got a phone call to meet with the sheriff, and he hired me. And by the time I was old enough to come back to Hernando County to work, I was already a detective in Pasco. And I was enamored with the big city crime that we had in Pasco County that we didn't have in Hernando. Back then, Hernando was still just a nice, sleepy little community, and I was fighting big-time criminals down there. And I thought I was, again, at that age, I was just wanting to go out and put as many bad people in jail as I could and protect society. So my career just started rocketing and taking off, but I continued to live here and have good friends that were working at the sheriff's office. And so that's the reason why I never actually worked for Hernando County Sheriff's Office.
Because your loyalty was with Pasco at the time.
Well, Bobby, I personally want to thank you for joining us today, and I want to thank you for sharing your personal experiences and what you plan to bring to Hernando County Sheriff as our sheriff. We are very, very excited for the opportunity to have you serve us as our sheriff. So thank you. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we say goodbye?
August 14th is huge. Historically, people don't come out on primaries. Please, everybody has to come out August 14th and let your voice be heard. A lame duck governor chose for you a year and a half ago. Now it's your turn to make your choice for sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
I also want to tell you how important it is to get out and vote on August 14th for the primary election. And the reason why this is so important is because only one candidate per political party for each elected position will be able to move forward for the final election ballot in November. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I want to wish all the candidates good luck.